Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Massey coming at you again. This time we're talking about factoring and solving polynomials. This time we're talking about the trinomial variety. Now, normally when they ask you to solve these things, they're going to come at you in standard form. And usually standard form looks like this. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That's our standard form. All right? Now, whenever they ask you to factor these things, you're going to have a three-step process. Always. It's going to be the same all the time. Step 1, we're looking for factors of c that add up to equal b. Step 2, we got to solve these things by using the zero product property. You probably heard about that thing. It's really easy. And step 3, we got to double check our work to make sure this stuff is right by foiling these guys. So let's get through this thing. First of all, we have to identify our a, b's, and c's. So let's get to it. Here in pink, my a is simply the coefficient in front of my x squared. So my a is going to be this guy. In this case, it's assumed a little 1 is in front of this x squared. So here my a value is just going to be a 1. My b value is what I'm really looking for. That's going to be notated here in blue. My blue b, that's going to be this 7, the guy in front of my x to the power of 1. And last but not least, to identify my c, that's going to be this guy at the very, very end with no variable, just my regular real number. In this case, looks like it's going to be a 12. This guy here in orange, that's going to be my c value. Now, that's standard form. It's always going to look like that. It's never going to change. There's no surprises there. All right? So step 1, we're looking for factors of c, 12, that add up to equal b, in this case 7. So what I want you to do is I want you to make me a little factor tree. Here I'm looking for factors of 12, so put him on top of the tree and give me some factors of this guy. The first factor that comes to mind always is number 1. Just a little number 1. All right? So what I want to do is I want to put my little factors on the left over here and their corresponding factors on the right side of my little factor tree. So what number times 1 gives me 12? I think I heard it. That's right, a 12. So put a 12 on this side, right? I'm just going to go down the row for my other factors of 12. You could also think of these things like this. What number, I should rephrase that. 12 divided by 2 gives me what? Gives me this 6. So put a little 6 there. You can say what number times 3 gives me 12? 12 divided by 3, that's a 4, right? Yada, yada, yada. So these are my factors of c, my factors of 12. What I'm looking to find are 2 factors that add up to equal 7. Nope. Nope. Ah, bingo. Caught you red-handed, you 3 and you 4. So these guys here, these guys are going to become my factors. So if that's a positive 3, show me in factored form in little parentheses. All right? If that's a positive 4, put him in parentheses. These guys here are going to be my factors. These are my factors. I found them. So when it says factor and solve, man, I'm halfway home. So a quick recap, I found factors of 12 that added up to equal 7. Here they are, those are my factors. Now to find my solutions, to find these guys right here, all I have to do is use my zero product property. That states I got to set my factors equal to 0 and solve these things. So my first factor is x plus 3. If I set this guy equal to 0 and solve for x, how do I do it? That's right. I got to get my numbers onto one side and my variables on the other by performing the opposite operation. The opposite of positive 3 is minus 3. What I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Yeah! Yeah. All right. So these eliminate. They go bye-bye, leaving me solely with x equals negative 3. That's one solution. All right. Now I got to find this guy by doing the same thing. So, if I have x plus 4 and set that equal to 0, right? Solve by performing the opposite operation. These eliminate. X equals negative 4. Scoop. Looks like these two are my 2 solutions. It's quadratic formula. Quadratic function to the second power means I have 2 solutions. Boom. On to the next one. All right. Now for this guy here, example number 2, I'm going to kind of jump into it. I'm not going to waste as much time. So essentially I'm looking for factors of, go ahead, yeah, 18. They add up to equal Yeah, -9. So let's see what I got. If here's my 18, I got a little factor tree for this guy. Let me see what I'm working with. What do you got for 1? Oh man, that's right in the glare, isn't it? Son of a gun. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Sorry about that. All right, so how about over here? Scoop, a new factor tree, new 18s. All right, so what do you got? I got a 1 and a 18. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. What's next? A 2 and a 9. Yeah, 2 and a 9. All right, what's next? A 3 and a 6. Yeah, 3 and a 6. All right, good for you guys. Anything else? Any 4s? Nah. Any 5s? Nah. Any 7s? Nah, man, come on, let's go. All right, calm down. So, I'm here. I'm looking for factors that add up to -9. -9? Got a 19, an 11, and a +9, huh? Well, if I know that a negative times a negative equals a positive, then I can make both of these guys a negative and see what that does for me. Does that do anything? -19, -11, aha, -9, I gotcha. Caught you red-handed, trying to fool me. Not today, not today. So these guys here, these guys are my factors. So let's see, I got a x -3, right, because that's a -3. And I got an x -6, right? These are my factors. My factors, I found them. So it says factor and solve up here in the very, very top. Factor and solve, yeah, we factored it, no problem. So now we got to solve these things, all right? Let me give you a little cheat code to speed this up. A little cheat code is whatever sign and number are in the parentheses, if you change that, that's your solution. All right, so check it out. If that's an x -6, the solution is an x equals +6. Scoop. If that's an x -3 in my parentheses from my factor, then my solution is going to be an x equals +3. Excellent. All right, scoop to scoop. All right, we got one more. I'm going to fly through this one here. I think you're getting the gist of these things. All right, so down here we got example number 3. Let's fly through it. Here I'm looking for factors of -24 that add up to equal -5. All right. So what do we got? We got -1, -2, -3, -4, and we got what else? We got a 24, we got a 12, we got an 8, and we got a 6. You guys okay with that? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what do these add up to equal? I'm looking for -5. Nothing. Well, if we're using the old noggin, if that don't work, then why about I make these negatives and see if that helps me at all. Now, I think I got something. I think I got something, Johnny. It looks like this fella right here stands out like a sore thumb. So those are my factors. So what do I got? I got a x +3 and I have a x -8. These are my factors, right? To find my solutions, all I gotta do is flip the signs. So help me out. I got an x equals 8. Yeah! I got an x equals -3. Yeah! All right. So when I ask you to factor and solve these things, this is what I'm looking for. I gave you 3 different examples. You got a +b, a -b, a +c, a -c. You got 3 different examples that are perfect. This should allow you to get through the homework comfortable and confidently. This should also prepare you just right for the test, quizzes, and assessments, also the SATs, anything of that nature. So a quick recap. Whenever they ask you to factor and solve and your A is just a 1, when that coefficient is just a 1, all you got to do is look for factors of C that add up to B. Make your little factor tree, off to the races. Man, we're home free. You're all set. I wish you would do, good sir and ladies.